Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Newsflash Friday. It's our first show. I am Marie Brownhill, and this is William Wofford, and we are going to give you just the lowdown on what's been going on this first week of December.
I heard that there's a lot of tea, a lot of tea. Matter of fact, hold up.
Normally, it takes us more than this to get to the epic water moment, but okay, we've already gotten to the epic water moment.
So real. And when we get to the subjects, oh my God, do we have our personal stories to tell you about what hell and high water we went through just to watch season one of Discovery? But we're going to get to that later on. Marie's actually going to lead us in with our own blueprint. So, what is on the news for this week, Marie? What are we talking about?
Today is December 1st. I realize this will air differently, but December 1st also marks the day back in the day when Jerry Goldsmith completed filming and recording the motion picture soundtrack, which is possibly the best part of that movie. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Um,
Just leave
so
that
that is
stuff.
your moment of Trek history.
Mm-hmm.
That's your moment of Trek history. Also, in the Trek timeline, significantly enough, if you are a fan of Deep Space Nine and if you are watching this and not, like, you need to address that issue. Um,
You cannot watch the show if you have not seen this. Sorry. Anyway.
December also marks the time frame in 2370 when Miles O'Brien was captured by the Cardassians and put on trial. So that is your Trek timeline tidbit of the day. And now we are going to segue into some of this week's most pressing news. Let's start with LeVar Burton first.
Jeopardy Man.
Yeah. LeVar Burton has been frequently asked, especially after his stint on Jeopardy, if he expects to be on Picard. And for quite some time, he was very positive that this could be a plausible situation. However, season two is already in the can and set to premiere early 2022. So they are filming season three now. One would assume by now that LeVar Burton would know if Geordi had returned. So I don't know that we're going to see everybody's favorite engineer back with his former captain.
Yeah.
So there's that. But I think the biggest story for this week, and indeed the preceding 2 weeks, is Paramount Plus's and Viacom's substantial mishandling of the Discovery International premiere for season four.
I it's like have they not learned their lesson?
No. In short, no.
We have
Um,
three streaming services. Three. And I don't
so, a little bit of background if you have not been paying attention, or are a domestic North American viewer. Um, Paramount Plus is where we watch. William and I are in the United States,
yes.
where we watch Star Trek Discovery. Um, Internationally, that was Netflix, and Viacom pulled Discovery from Netflix days before it was set to premiere.
Oh,
Basically said you're going to have to watch this when Paramount Plus reaches your market, which could have been as late 2022 for a number of markets. This created, as you might imagine, a huge kerfluffle to the extent that members of both the cast and crew of Star Trek Discovery basically said, hey, look, they took to Twitter and said, hey, look, this is not our decision. This is made at a much higher level than we are. We support our international fans. Um, don't hold it against us, essentially.
yeah.
Um, uh, Huge backlash followed from the international fan base, and eventually Paramount Plus and Viacom concluded a negotiation with Pluto International, which is a big streaming service in the European markets, uh, to show basically to show season four. And that premiered November 26th with 2 episodes. If you were not in a market where Pluto International was available, then you had the option of purchasing season two as it, or season four as it aired. And it also premiered 26th November with the first 2 episodes. So everybody should theoretically now be caught up, unless, of course, those viewers decide not to either purchase the season or go with Pluto International.
Mm. I actually have a question about that. Before we get into our our personal stories about what we personally went through, with transitioning from Netflix, though we never really got a chance on Netflix, to CBS All Access to Paramount Plus with our personal, hellacious stories. What was the reasoning for switching the way they did? Like, how did it even get on CBS All Access and leave from there, or is it still there? Because I just know it almost seems like for every season there's like a new streaming service that we have to watch it on. Because I remember in the very beginning for season one, we couldn't even watch it on Netflix but everyone else outside the U.S. could. And then season two, I think, came CBS All Access. Oh, okay. Well, let's go to CBS All Access since I clearly cannot watch it on Netflix. So I did.
I seem
And
to remember for me that it was CBS All Access to the beginning, like from the beginning. They released the first 2 episodes on cable, and then after that, they ported it over to the streaming platform.
okay,
To answer your question about like why the shift from CBS All Access to Paramount Plus, that has everything to do with the merger with Viacom.
okay, okay. Well, what happened? What happened there specifically? Because I'm afraid I'm not privy to that information.
Um, so Paramount has always owned the rights, if I'm remembering correctly. Paramount has always owned the rights to the films. CBS has owned the rights the um, to the shows. So effectively, um, Viacom looked at this and was like, "Hey, like." Because I believe Viacom actually already owned Paramount, and so
Right.
Viacom then negotiated with CBS's parent company, and they merged. They had actually already been at one point the same company, and then split off. And so, really, this is more like a reunification. That's also why Prodigy, incidentally, is airing on Paramount Plus because Nickelodeon is actually owned by the Viacom media conglomerate.
Okay.
Um, so that's kind of where that how that happened and
Yeah.
why we now have like we were automatically converted from CBS All Access to Paramount Plus.
Okay. Okay. And have you talked with any other Trekkies and how they are transitioning to Paramount Plus?
Um, I do actually have a number of international Trek fan friends, and they are displeased. In fact, saying that they are displeased is perhaps the most like the greatest understatement I could give you. There's a fair amount of rage because they're now having to shell out for um, for another streaming service, or they're having to R. Um, and so
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
right.
You had to
R.
do that like 3 times before I actually oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So in order to have a legal way to view this, they have to make the decision. And so, interestingly enough, they're having the same kind of conversation that Americans had very early on, because I distinctly remember having conversations about, do I really want to buy CBS All Access? Because literally the only thing I watch on CBS All Access is Star Trek.
That's it. And then I'm gonna cancel it.
I have kept mine active, actually. I see it as a way to sort of incentivize production of shows that I like and content that I like. And I think Viacom, Paramount Plus, pick your company name, is actually capitalizing on that, which is one of the reasons we're seeing how they're spacing shows.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So, I mean, Prodigy began what October. November, we got Discovery, so that's leading in. We're going to see Picard in, I want to say February 2022.
Right.
And then theoretically, somewhere after that, we're going to see Strange New Worlds. But I have a sneaking suspicion that we're just kind of building on content in order to keep people subscribing.
So they're really trying to keep us happy. Like, because they know that one show after the other on the same streaming service that we hope will not leave this time, which
Yeah,
they
I just need them to get their algorithm right because they keep advertising football shows and after football shows to me, and I'm like, I literally am just watching Star Trek, people. Like, I mean, you can you can pull my history.
I mean, that's pretty much it, you know. And it's actually a brilliant way. Let's just like if you want to make your money off of your Trek fans, and you do it the right way, because I'll be honest, they had a rough beginning. They had a rough beginning, and I it
And I
blew my
do actually think that this whole kerfluffle is going to overshadow season 4 as it continues because this was incredibly poorly handled. There are ways to have that conversation and there are ways not to, and Viacom kind of
that
gave us a
is
masterclass in how to mess that up.
right now, as I understand it, now the rest of the world is having a hard time seeing it, and now we're the first one seeing it. Is
Well, now, as of November 26th, they are caught up to where we are.
okay, but they were
Because the first two episodes dropped, and we have only seen episode up to episode 2 at this point. Small plug, please have the I mean, please tune in to Trekker's Delight for our show reviews.
yay.
Uh,
Yes, we have a very great show. We have a very great, I guess you can call them, uh, co-hosts and guest hosts or cast, however you will. We basically have our ship's crew. You know, our captain is Jermaine. I'm the first officer. Marie, what would you be?
I still don't know.
I don't
I still don't know. Honestly, I think I'm a lower decker, really.
know.
Like
Oh,
I'm cleaning out the biofilters and
how about chief engineer? How about that?
ooh, oh, that requires practical life skills. And if I had practical life skills, I might not be here. Let's be
You
real.
you are a mother of two. I'm pretty sure you have that down pat. So,
Or, like it just means I manage chaos
right.
slightly more than I did. I'm not even going to say better, slightly more.
And Annie is communications and sciences. And I think someone said that Richard, he was a guest that we had a while ago, because he's a flight attendant, he would be our transporter chief.
Right?
And oh, Brandon and Brian, well, yeah, but they're definitely, um,
I think they're in engineering and are probably
because I was
tinkering
gonna say
away.
helmsman, but I was like, and then I was like, because they're very good with their tech. They're very good with their tech, and hats off to them for that, for getting that technobabble in order.
Right? That is not something I can do.
And well, I don't even know. Is it called Tech Tuesdays or Technobabble Tuesdays or Technology Tuesdays? Do you know the name of it,
I
or
think it's Tech Tuesdays, actually.
Tech Tuesdays? Oh, so guys, so how it actually works is, if you haven't seen them by now, we pretty much have a show 6 days a week, with the main show on Thursdays. On Mondays we have LGB Trek. On Tuesdays we have Tech Tuesdays. On Wednesdays we have off and on. We for 2 Wednesdays a month we have What If Wednesdays. And I'm gonna, Marie, why don't you lead us to what the other 2 Wednesdays are gonna be? Because
Every
I
other
want
week, it's
the
going to
concept.
be Star Trek FTPs, which stands
Yeah,
for Fight the Patriarchy, and we are going to look at um, different elements in Trek as to how they handle, toxic masculinity, white supremacy, and other related issues. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun, which is not something you normally would say about those
I
topics,
normally
but
not.
also.
There's a lot that covers into it. It's actually a very enlightening discussion, because our first episode will be Code of Honor from the first season of TNG.
So
And
feel free to hate watch that episode before next Wednesday.
yes, before next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we will be talking about Code of Honor. It is probably gonna be, we're talking about, as someone put it, the most racist hour of Trek ever.
I'll be honest, I think I actually called it the most racist hour of television I'd ever
And
seen. I'm gonna out myself
yeah,
there.
she hold on.
Um,
She she did it. There it is. But yeah, and then Thursdays will be our main show where we have our the bulk of our cast here, those who can attend to make it, where we will likely be doing general topics as well as reviews for Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Prodigy. Also, please note that there we go. Marie is our review queen. So and don't forget, Code of Honor is going to be this Wednesday, so just to remember on that topic. And then Fridays is our Newsflash Fridays. There's a picture. There's a picture. Code of Honor, guys.
oh,
I'm,
right,
I'm
right.
gonna say
Like
this
you,
without.
you can look at that and already know
You
it's a
can look
bad
at that
idea.
and think like, like T'Challa would be so offended.
And
like,
Siri's over there going like, "What's wrong with her outfit?"
I'm so serious right now. Like T'Challa, he'd be like, I he just I feel like the general on Black Panther would just be like colonizers. They ruin everything.
My bad.
Because
My
it's like no,
bad.
no. I'm only gonna say this one thing. I'm only gonna say this one thing, guys. And this is part of Newsflash Fridays because this is news. How I can get that there are different alien races out there outside of Earth. That's fine. We've established that whales are not from Earth. That's cool. But at the same time, who just happens to be a black humanoid with an African accent? This is like an insult to Lion King before it was made. This is an insult to Coming to America. This is an insult to Black Panther before it was made. This is just, it's just not right. It's just not
Choices
right.
were made.
And I'm gonna shut up about that because I can go on and on and on forever.
But you should tune in on Wednesday to
Please,
hear the rest of this rant because it's pretty legit.
yes.
Um,
And then Saturday will be our Section 31 Saturdays where we, well, actually, how would you describe it, honestly?
Section 31 is going to serve as a primer to the history of Section 31, where it developed in Deep Space Nine, and go through the rest of the franchise installments in preparation for the Section 31 show that will eventually premiere, featuring everyone's favorite
Oh, yeah.
Philippa Giorgio, played by the incredible Michelle Yeoh.
Nice. I absolutely love her. And it's like, we know they're going to bring her back. I bet you the actress already knows, but she's just keeping
Oh,
it.
she campaigned for it. She had had such a good time on Discovery and really enjoyed kind of working in the Star Trek universe that she just kind of elbowed the people she needed to elbow and was kind of like, so it'd be super great actually if I could come back. Um, this is kind of related actually to how we get Guinan, because Whoopi Goldberg actually reached out to the production team behind TNG and was like, "So I'm a big Trek fan and I would like to be on your show."
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the current King of Jordan also did that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. You know what? Fun fact about Guinan, because I just realized something. Um, she, even though she wasn't a Starfleet officer, she was a very big character in the TNG franchise. And she, even though they put the saucer on her head, she had long braided hair because, well, a that was Whoopi's natural hair anyway. Like she wouldn't, they weren't going to get rid of that. And then we ended up seeing that in Discovery without a hat, without a saucer, on Michael Burnham, and it's her hair, and it's like big fashion, a big huge statement in general that will be for a later episode of FTP. Like Isn't that amazing? Like about hair textures and how it evolved throughout the Trek 50
And
years.
also just how politicized that concept and that subject really is. And again, that will be a later episode of FTP.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. So, guys, we have a crazy week ahead of us and we have a lot of topics to cover. I think we spent like literally a month preparing for this, maybe a little bit more. With the exception of Thanksgiving week.
do you really want to remove the curtain? Like, don't we want people to think this is all magic?
Honestly, honestly, do you it's like when Jonathan Frakes was like given like the tour of the Enterprise on like the last episode of TNG, and then you
Oh, I'll do you one better. Uh, I was watching TNG and Reading Rainbow at the same time, and there's a legit Reading Rainbow episode where LeVar Burton takes us on to the set of TNG, and I'm not gonna lie, very young Marie was so excited to see all of this cross pollination.
That's absolutely true. But you know what, Marie? I got a question for you because you really just asked me, but I'm asking you anyway. Should I pull the curtain away?
Go ahead, pull that curtain, roll that beautiful bean
There
footage.
he is! Guys, this is our captain. This is the man behind the scenes doing the darn thing. This is Jermaine Watson. Like seriously, he is freaking amazing. He is legit. He has the
He
patience.
runs herd on all of us to make sure we do what we're supposed to do.
Oh,
And I gotta tell you, sometimes it's like herding cats.
oh man, it's just like, and we went through hell and high water and back, and he's just and he is notorious for making meme faces that I will screenshot every single time and make Trek memes out of it. I swear to God, like his signature move. How are you doing, Jermaine?
I'm doing fine. I was about to leave. You can't do this to me.
And yet
We
we did.
we
I was
did.
enjoying my, behind the scenes production. It was fun. It was fun getting pictures and all of that. It was fun.
Yeah, no, that was legit. So thank you very much for pulling
Thank
those
you very
images.
much.
Is there anything you want, since you are in charge of Section 31, is there anything you want to plug about that?
Right.
So look, I guess the thing that I want to talk about, and you all kind of mentioned it, there's a possibility that this show is gonna come around, and just talking to like people like you all are so conversant on all things Star Trek, right? But when it comes to Section 31, it's like this is something that we know about, but are we ready for a show that's all about Section 31? And so that's what this show is all about. We are going to learn all about Section 31 together. All right, from the beginning, from the Genesis all the way to Revelations, baby.
Oh, Genesis to Revelations. And honestly, that makes this show really, Trekkers Delight, really interesting because it puts this as the only Trek show on the forefront when it comes to Section 31, analyzing it in every tidbit way possible, almost preparing our future audiences for what's going to come in probably fall of 2022.
I'm ready. Hopefully, you all
I
are.
mean, fingers are crossed. As of yet, I
Uh,
don't know of any like principal photography or any of that, but um, my fingers are still crossed. I am, I am so there. I am there for a Section 31 show.
I am there.
Y'all, let
All
me go.
right.
Let me go. Let me go.
See you, Jermaine.
All
Closing the
right,
curtain.
bye, Jermaine.
Okay.
Um,
But yeah.
so we have a whole smorgasbord of different shows and really great content that's coming your way. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we will hopefully see you in our next segment.
Live long and prosper, guys. Thanks for
Peace and
tuning
long
in.
life.
Flash Friday, News Flash Fridays on Trekkers Delight. See ya.